Hi, Micah. This is Bill. I appreciate your help. I thought I'd give you a little bit of background and kind of explain what I'm trying to do here. So we have a switch that we're trying to make wireless. So they've got a switch on a wheelchair or on a table. The user can hit the switch and it activates something. That might be a a speech device. It might be a toy. It might be a light. Who knows? And there's a lot of more complicated things we can do with this, but the request was I want something simple. I want to be able to plug it into both sides and just eliminate the wire. And so I said that wasn't really possible or feasible because if you've got the amount of money it would take to buy a microcontroller like a Feather, program it, take the time to do that, you might as well switch to Bluetooth or switch to a Huzzah or a ESP8266 or something where now you're connecting to something that has more control and more flexibility. And so I told them it doesn't really work to use maker components for that because it just wasn't a cost-effective use of time. And then I was making a video and I saw this. So this is the remote that I use in my studio. It lets me turn on and off my lights one at a time. And basically it's an inexpensive $30 set. If I can reach this. So it comes with one of these and 5 of these. And so this has a it has some kind of a transformer or switching power supply that generates, I believe, 12 volts to a receiver. It might be 5 volts, but to a receiver. It has a relay that then you plug your cord into, and it uses 433 megahertz standard remote control frequency, just like a garage door opener. And this is just about perfect. I can take this, and it comes with 5 of them, and I can rip out the plug that you plug a power supply into, or a powered device into, and I can stick a 3.5 millimeter jack there. And so for the receiving side, this works really well. I don't think there's anything other than removing this from the relay, wiring in a different jack to that relay, and it should work just fine. So this is a great way. They would immediately get 5 endpoints that could either be powered, like if they wanted to turn lights on and off, or could be the output of the virtual wire, so to speak. The problem comes with the fact that this device expects separate on and off buttons. So you'll see that there's I don't know how well you can see this device, but here I'll turn this off and on. You'll see that that is separate signals, and so it's got 2 separate buttons to send the signal, which is probably what you want. You're going to save a lot of power that way. You're not going to clutter up the frequency spectrum by constantly having something on. But when you only have one button to press, what you really want is you want it on while the button is down, and you want it off when the button is off. So what I'm trying to do is to take one of these and very inexpensively say that when the button is pressed, it would send the on signal by triggering the same thing this button does. And when the button is released, I would like it to trigger what this button does, which is to turn it off. This is the one I use in my studio, and I don't want to have to get up and change these out. So I'm not ripping this one apart yet, but I have another one on order. I will rip this apart. I do know that it uses a 12-volt A23 battery, which probably means it is using the same cheap RF transmitters and encoders that are available online. But it's probably much cheaper to buy this in a $30 kit with 5 receivers than to try and make one from scratch. So in with the intention of making this simple enough for robotics clubs to hack this into something useful, I am trying to figure out how to do that with mainly passive or I don't want to say, so let's say passive. They can be logic chips, AND gates, NAND gates, things like that, but I don't really want to have a step that says load up this Arduino code unless I really have to. So hopefully that catches you up and makes you explain this. Also, take a look at openat.org. That's where we have a lot of people asking for things, and we don't yet have enough makers helping out. So we'd love your help and make you feel good inside and give you some good PR. But thanks for taking the time today for responding, and I'll keep you in the loop as we solve this. By the way, thanks for your help in the mirror. It's not flickering, and it looks awesome. Thanks.